Hello, Brony community. I'm back. Sorry for being gone so long. It's just I was waiting for the season 4 premiere before I did any more analysis, since I knew it would be the big thing that would get me back into the swing of things in the fandom. Well, a couple of days ago I saw it and, how should I put this? Okay, I'm done. I'm done. It's just this premiere. Oh my god, this premiere! If the season 3 premiere was a little lackluster, which it was, then this more than makes up for it. I haven't been this invested in an episode, or rather episodes of My Little Pony since the season 2 finale. This is that good. But of course, I'm not here to just gush over how awesome these episodes are. Rather, I'm here to explain why exactly I'm gushing over them. Be warned. Spoilers ahead. Okay, so the first thing I loved, the world building. Holy crap, the world building. First of all, we get to actually see the epic battle between Celestia and Nightmare Moon. And while it is a little bit on the short side, it's done in the style of a badass magic fight, ending with an even more badass beam struggle that, as a fan of Dragon Ball, made me fangasm in the most ridiculous way. And like I said just a little bit ago, yeah, it was a tad short, and everyone seems to keep bringing that up. But guys, it's a two-parter special. We can't focus too much on Nightmare Moon because then it would detract from the actual plot. Oh, and also we get to see the original defeat of Discord and why he was doing that pose when he was first petrified. And while that's cool, I still felt like that the Nightmare Moon part had more impact to it. However, though, but the most interesting and the one with the most impact, however, was the introduction of the Tree of Harmony. Simply put, the Tree of Harmony is where the elements of harmony came from. They weren't just some things made by the princesses. They were part of a greater being, one more powerful than either of them. This opens up so many opportunities for stories and even more world building. Where did the tree come from? How old is it? Just how does it influence the world, etc., etc. I'm super excited to learn more about Equestria's currently shrouded past. Second thing I love, the possibility for something new. These set of episodes delved into some pretty interesting ideas that could really shake up the formula of the show. And with a tweet from Megan McCarthy confirming a season-long story arc, insert my squee from the beginning of the video here, there's an endless number of possibilities. Firstly, the episode dwells into Twilight's responsibilities as a princess and how it might strain the friendships that she's made. And while the payoff is pretty awkward and anticlimactic, we'll get into that later. I personally felt that this concept can be explored into greater detail with far greater emotional depth. Secondly, the girls had to give up the elements of harmony. Yes, their magical plot-solving MacGuffins are gone. That means if something wicked rears its head, the main six must now use much more conventional means to defeat it. Simply put, the risks are higher than ever before. They can't rely on "Taste the rainbow, motherfucker!" anymore. That alone is a pretty big change. There's also the locks. 6 locks, 6 keys, 6 main characters. I wonder what that could lead to. Oh, I know. Individual adventure stories. Whether they be arcs or one-shots, I am stoked. Third reason I loved this. The characters are all awesome. Even if not all of them are entirely three-dimensional. I didn't feel like any of them were really a waste. That's a significant problem I had with the Season 3 premiere. The only main six I gave a damn about in that story was Twilight. The other characters didn't really do much. Hell, in that story I actually cared more about Spike than the other main six. And I don't mean that in a hateful way towards Spike, it's just odd to me that I cared more about a side character than one of the main six. Here, even if a certain character doesn't do much, the way they interact is so good that I can't help but love it when they're on screen. Sometimes for different reasons than others. I know that a lot of people like Discord, and I like him too, quite a lot really. But I'm not gonna lie, his appearances at both Keep Calm and Flutter On, and in this are pretty underwhelming. Yeah, he's funny. Yes, he's sarcastic. Yes, he has some really good lines and some great animation gags. But as a character, he lost a lot of his charm in Keep Calm and Flutter On. At least to me. Part of what made him so much fun was that he was both funny and a little sinister. And without that villainous intent, he sort of loses half of his charm. I feel like that they need something else to fill in that void, and I don't feel like that they did that here. Okay, well, to be honest, here they did make his alignment a bit more open-ended, so I don't know. They might do a better paced redemption story or something, since Keep Calm and Flutter On was kind of awkwardly paced, in my opinion. Uh, but, if anything does make up for it, though, it's John Delancey's performance, which, as usual, is great, bringing life to the god of disharmony perfectly. In fact, everyone performs quite well here. Granted, there's a snag or two, as with any episode of any show. In this case, I'm thinking of Nightmare Moon's laugh at the end of episode 1. I love Tabitha St. Germain, and I think she does great in MLP, but she really needs to work on Nightmare Moon's laugh. I mean, it's not terrible, and maybe I've just been spoiled by Mark Hamill's Joker, but I thought it sounded kind of weird. I'm not exactly sure why, it just kind of sounded off to me. But there aren't really any other snags I could think of that were really that significant, so overall the voice acting is pretty sweet. And of course, it complements the kick-ass animation. Speaking of which, this is some of the best, the best animation I've ever seen on the show. The expressiveness, the lighting and shading, the fluidity of movement. It's masterfully animated, and it could match blows with some of the best traditionally animated shows on TV right now. And that's quite an accomplishment considering the limitations of Flash. It's that good. This episode is just amazing, and it ranks up there with some of my favorite episodes. But no episode is perfect, and while I've already discussed some minor flaws and such, they weren't really enough to make me think about them too much. But then there's this. And no, it's not the magical plot convenience potion. I don't really want to talk about it, though. It did kind of have me scratching my head. In summary, seriously, ugh. Anyway, I'm referring to the pacing of episode 2. The first episode had wonderful pacing that took time to let the viewer absorb what's going on. The second episode, however, breaks this pace, so not only does it feel somewhat rushed, but also feels pretty inconsistent. One minute we're being engulfed in the situation, and the next we're rushing through everything. It's just odd. Like, there's a perfect example of this. In episode 2, when they go in the Everfree Forest, all the friends want Twilight to leave because Equestria will need a princess still alive and such, and the risk would be too great, forgetting that Princess Cadence exists, I guess. And she leaves, and literally after pretty much a 5-second talk with Discord, she runs back in, and they basically all just reunite. There was no point to that sequence, and it was a perfect example of the pacing issues. This could have been a really big thing, but it wasn't. It didn't really have a lot of emotional payoff or anything. It was just sort of awkward. With that said, though, even with the pacing issues, I think Princess Twilight Sparkle, both parts 1 and 2, are incredible. This is very much what I felt like the Season 3 premiere and finale should have been. It raises the stakes, changes things up, and sets up for future stories. When Season 3 started, I went in with mild caution because of its less than stellar premiere. This time, I have none of those feelings. If the rest of the season follows this level of quality, we could have a season better than even Season 2, which so far has been my absolute favorite. Well, I suppose that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, check out some more of my channel and don't forget to subscribe. This has been CryptFang, and I will see you all later.